Is everybody in?
Before we get started,
Everybody in?
does anyone want to get out?
Everybody.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows
Ceremony
things
is
are
about
bad.
to
It's a
begin.
depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. We don't go out anymore. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. There's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my... I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. At first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Go.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Good evening. Mic test. Mic test. Hopefully okay yung audio natin. Sana hindi maputol yung kuryente ulit. Kababalik-balik lang ng kuryente. Shoutout sa nagpo-provide ng kuryente sa Iloilo. Baka naman. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you for tuning in. Medyo matagal yung last na broadcast natin. How are you? How are you? I hope you are all doing well. I hope everyone is doing fine. I hope you are all healthy amidst the heat wave na nangyayari sa ating lahat. I hope amidst all tragedies that you have come across with in the past few days, in the past few weeks, any personal tragedies that you have experienced would not stop you from pursuing your goals and continuing to move forward. I can only hope that you can turn it into something productive. Yun. Haba ng intro, no? Sorry. Nakalimutan ko na ata gawin to eh. Good evening kung sino man ang nanonood at manunood pa. Good evening. Thank you very much for tuning in. Dapat magbo-broadcast ako a few days ago, kaso yun nga, patay sindi yung kuryente dito sa Iloilo, panay ang brownout. So, I'll try to keep this short and simple. I just wanted to float out the idea, kung hindi pa kayo familiar dun sa Dunbar's number. It's part of the long-stalled research tungkol sa the Red Queen hypothesis. It's part of the research. It's part of the whole theory that I've been pursuing for a while. I hope you can see it. I hope you can read it. This was put forward by a psychologist. Let me get my notes just so I won't misquote it. He's a anthropologist. He's been conducting studies on primate group sizes and brain sizes kasi sabi niya there's a correlation between our ability to interact and work with people, yung community creation natin is related to the size of our brains, how we process relating with others, which I believe is timely, especially after the pandemic, after everything has gone astray, and after everything has gone crazy enough. So yun, sabi ni Dr. Dunbar, there's a specific number of there's a specific number of people that we always interact with, that we always work closely together or share our innermost thoughts, which is what he says, yung five close friends. It may vary from time to time with people, of course, pero so far, everyone I've asked, they have this number, at least five friends. Yes, there is sometimes more, sometimes less. People they can really trust, yun yung core nila. And then there's an extended family, people outside of those close five, and then a bigger number, their clan and their tribe. And I think it all falls into why am I even bothering discussing it? Why is it relevant? Oy, good evening, good evening. Thank you. So why is this relevant, especially now in the advent of social media? I think we're all well aware na minsan nami-mistake natin yung social ties natin. It's more than the likes, it's more than the comments, it's more than all of these superficial connections that we have created for ourselves, especially with other people. We tend to overlook real connections with people, real meaningful connections, real meaningful interactions. Sometimes we tend to put too much value on superficial things. I could be wrong, as always. I could be wrong. Parang dati kasi for me, iba yung meaning nung when you say someone is your friend, it's someone you can really trust. An acquaintance is different from a friend. Family is more than a friend. Pero sometimes these things get jumbled up and we forget who people really are, what are their intentions, what are their tama bang term, agendas to interact with you, to work with you, uh, or to agree with you, to connect with you. Is there an underlying reason, something that they get out of your being within your circle? So sometimes we have to ask ourselves, why do we associate with these people? Why are they associating with us? Are these meaningful, and would this bring about growth in us? Is it really a learning experience? Or is that really up to you? Would anything come out of it because of your perception, because of your point of view of that interaction or of that connection? Are you really being honest with yourself, with that connection, with that person? Or are you simply doing it for a particular reason, like likes on Facebook? 'Di ba? Minsan sobrang daming tao sa Facebook mo eh, sobrang daming connected ka sa Facebook, pero how many of these people really care for you? How many of them really mean anything to you? Are these just simple lost connections? Yung lagi mong ka-interact, do they really mean good for you? Or is it simply because they get something out of it? Or you get something out of it? It's always twofold. So we have to look at it from both ways, as always. We have to ask ourselves most of the time first, am I learning something from this? This is from my point of view because that's how I always look at things. I look at the experience. Am I learning something out of it? What can I take out of this that I can share with other people? Most often than not, it could be misunderstood. Yes, as always, because everyone, like I mentioned, would have their own perception, would have their own understanding, and would have their own biases about the situation. So now we go back to Dunbar's number. Is it important to you, the number of people you have around you? How important is it? And are you important to these people you hold important to you? You put importance on these people, but are you important to them? Right? Especially sa social media, especially sa situation ng, let's say, nag-YouTube ka or nag-Facebook live ka, nagti-TikTok ka or whatever. It feeds on your ego, it feeds on everything else. Is it helping you? Is it good for you? Is it healthy? And sadly, um, I'm noticing, kaya hindi ako nagti-TikTok eh. It's becoming a freak show. Sadly, it erodes yung values. Not, I am not generalizing it, but sadly, it's what's happening. It's what I'm seeing. It just erodes. It promotes over sexualization of women, and then turning like turning them to merchandise, like eye candy and shit like that, which is hurtful to me because I have a child. I have a little girl that will grow up who uses TikTok. And without, again, my own personal responsibility as a parent to explain this to them and teach them about the realities of the world, which we should not ever, please don't protect them or over shelter them with the truths of life. They have to know the reality that that's what it is. You just have to explain it to them properly. Am I digressing? Am I going out of the point? Maybe. Most often than not, it happens. I apologize. But going back to it, do not allow numbers to tell you who you are. Sometimes we forget that these numbers are meaningless. Even if there's so much connections that you have, but they are useless to you, they do not bring anything good out of you except for probably monetary compensation. If that's what's important to you, then whatever, man. You're good. You're okay. Whatever makes you happy. However, even if with a small circle of really great people, I think that would be far more meaningful. That would be far more productive for you if you are willing to let go of your pride or what ego so that you can listen to the lessons that they are imparting from you, especially from those people who really care enough to tell you the truth as it is without sugarcoating it, without putting your feelings in the forefront of whatever they are trying to tell you. And if you are a friend, make sure you are willing to tell the truth about your friend. If they are wrong, they are wrong. But I'm not saying sugarcoat it, but be tactful. Choose your words carefully. Because again, nisit varmisa reverti, the spoken word can never be recalled. It's never wrong to ask to yourself or to the people you interact with. So ask yourself how many of these connections I have are truly meaningful. What are they giving to me and what am I getting from them? Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sir Boji. Thank you. Thank you. So I guess we'll keep it that short. We'll keep it that simple. Hi, Ma'am Julie. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Um, let's take a break for the comments. I apologize. Um, Sir Coach Ricky, check out niyo yung channel ni Coach Ricky for workouts. Sir No Curfew, thank you. Malayo pa, happy birthday sa'yo. Happy birthday sa'yo, G. Happy birthday. Yun, no? Straight from Japan. Thank you, Sir Boji. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ma'am Julie, yes, be tactful. Yes, very much so. Very much so. We must learn how to choose our words carefully. Yo, no? Yo, no? Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. Good evening. Akyat, akyat. Dali, dali, dali. Tignan natin. Let's see. I'll post the link. Click on the link. Click on the link. Click on the link. Yan. Yan. Click on the link. I have still a few minutes before I need to go. Good evening, Sir Cobalt. Good evening. How are you? Ayan, click on the link. Click on the link. Bawal magluto. Bawal, bawal, bawal. Bawal magluto, papi. Bawal. So yun, balikan natin. Ayan yung link, ma'am, nasa taas. Nandiyan sa taas. Ayan, ayan, ayan. Nasa taas, nasaan yung link? Ayun, nasa taas yung link, ma'am, nasa taas. Pinned message. Yan. Makikita nyo dyan yung link. Andyan yan. So yun, we go back. Not all bad relationships would be irrelevant. Ako kasi I firmly believe there's always something to learn from everything. Yun. Good evening, Sir Lucas. Good evening. Any interaction, it teaches us something, whether we like to admit it or not. It teaches something about us, about the person that we're interacting with as well. Always twofold. There's a positive and a negative. How I reacted, how that person reacted, as well as what are the lingering thoughts about that particular interaction. Sorry, napuwing ako. Medyo mainit kasi dito ngayon sa Iloilo, sobra. Pinagpapawisan ako. Yun. What does not kill you makes you stranger. um, Minsan kasi nakakalimutan natin na overpower tayo siguro either nung ego or our emotions for our quality interactions. We tend to forget to reflect on the situation. We get triggered or we get too we get too overwhelmed by the situation maybe. So is that still related to Dunbar's number? Of course. Look, like I said earlier, look at the people around you. At work, at home, are they single serve friends? Are they really looking out for you? Are they helping you in one way or the other? Are you helping them? Pa-advice naman daw, paano iwasan ang lungkot? Ngumiti ka. Maglaro ka ng division para sumaya ka. So, it also relates to that. Sadness, depression. I'm not taking that lightly. I'm serious when I say if we're not willing to look at our situation, if we're not willing to detach ourselves with the emotional intensity of a particular moment, we can be lonely, we can be depressed, we can be triggered by the situation, 'di ba? Malulungkot ka, ma made-depress ka, naghiwalay kayo ng girlfriend mo. Mga gano'ng bagay, pero we tend to forget the situation, bakit nangyari 'yun. Naghiwalay kayo ng girlfriend mo kasi wala kang oras sa kanya, wala siyang oras sa'yo. You were both unprepared for the relationship. Either young kayo or too focused on other things other than the situation at hand, other than working to build a working relationship, a lasting relationship, a mature relationship, it really won't work. Works again. Dun sa Dunbar's number, you were counting on the advice of people outside of that five important people. Yung mga taong wala naman talagang alam dun sa sitwasyon nyo, yun ang pinagtatanungan mo. Kasi they were there, kumbaga, convenience, out of convenience. Pero you forgot to ask yourself, number one, kasi ikaw yung nandun sa relationship. Second, you forgot to ask the real important questions at the time, which you will not see because you were overpowered by your emotion. You did not set your ego aside. You did not set the proper time to digest whatever it was. Ano ba yung problema? Bakit umabot doon? Anong repercussions nung sitwasyon if you don't work on it? Just like everything else. If it's worth it, you'll work for it. If it's not, you'll set it aside too quickly, too easily. And sadly, in this very fast paced environment of social media, we forget we are too quick with our anonymous wit. Uh, we forget the real power of words over people. Hindi natin iniisip yung repercussions. I can cite one example sa social media comments. We fat shame, we we say things offhand. We say things we really don't mean, but just for the fuck of it, we'll say it. Why? Seemed funny to me at the time. Pero the person you were saying that to took it really personally or took it really to heart. Probably they were reaching out for help, but you just brushed it off. And it resulted, let's say, in a suicide. Will you be held responsible for it? I don't think so. Would you hold yourself responsible for it? You wouldn't. Would you know? Yun yung one of the things that was lost, I think, in the advent of social media. The repercussions for your words. You can say anything to anyone without getting slapped in the face or punched in the face for saying something out of turn. Yun siguro. Ngayon, the number of people you have around you, yung Dunbar's number mo, is a way for you to show how siguro bragging rights din, yun na lang. Yun yung easiest way, number of followers. But are they really following you? Or did they just click on the follow button? Do you make any difference in their life? What what's your purpose in their life? Yung dati kasi when you say you follow someone, when you idolize someone, it means that they have done something very meaningful and very powerful that you really have that connection with them. Yung mga artista, yung mga basketball player, you idolize them because they're at the top of their game. They are the best at something that they do. Ngayon kahit sino na lang, Lodi, idol, ganon. And slowly, the power is eroding. Meanings have changed for words. Certain words have lost their meaning. And values have Sir Boji, sadly I don't do religious topics, not because I shy away from them or whatnot. It's because this is the ether. The internet is the ether. May question kasi si Sir Boji eh. Sorry, sorry. I'll show you the question. Sabi ni Sir Boji, the question is how are we going to outwit the devil? Do we really have to be unpredictable so that devil will never have a chance to be prepared to react for our action? How do you define the devil? What is evil? Oi, good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, JV. Good evening. Good evening. Like I always say, there's two things. There's always two things. Evil, the devil, whatever he is, he has a purpose. What is his purpose? He is to show that there is good, that there is light in the darkness, within and without us, around us. It gives you an opportunity to reflect. There's no outwitting the devil. If he wants you, you always have a choice. Thank you very much, Ate Ana. Thank you. Thank you. Happy Sunday nga pala. Sorry, I forgot. Today is Sunday, April 30th. We started 34 minutes ago. Sorry. We started 8 8ish. 9ish, 9ish. So, going back to that, there's no outwitting the devil, sir. No. You just have to be consistent and steadfast with your faith. You have to really know who you are, what you believe in, and the devil can stand in front of you. Even death himself can stand in front of you, and you will have no fear. And you will not shy away from it. You can challenge the devil in his own game, and you will win. If you have no doubt, if you have a steadfast grasp of your faith. I'm not saying faith in anything more than something that you can quantify. What I'm saying is something you know for sure within yourself. Beyond that, beyond that, I'm not sure how. That's just me. You could be a man of the cloth and still fall for the tricks of the devil. I could be a criminal and not be afraid of death or the devil because I know for a fact what I have done. and I repent for my sins and pay for my sins accordingly. I hope in one way or the other I was able to answer your question, sir. Hindi eh, para sa akin. Good evening, Francis. Good evening. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he did not exist. Actually, hindi eh. For me. Everyone has his own opinion, just like assholes. Everyone has one. And this is mine. The greatest trick the devil perpetrated unto man is you can get away with it. You can get away with it. That's the greatest trick he ever pulled. He convinced, or he can convince man, woman, and child that you can get away with it. That's it, bro. It's as simple as that. If you think you can get away with it, you'll do it. You will do what you want, regardless of the consequence, if you can get away with it. Kaya nga, it's always a conscious choice. Kaya nga life is about making choices, di ba? Funny enough, without the devil, you can never tell you're good. Without bad, there is no good. Without black, there is no white. So on and so forth. You just have to choose. Ang galing. It's a beautiful design, so symmetrical. There's always a choice. You can either be bad, you can either be good. You can choose to be pressured by peers, by the situation, or by anything. Or you can choose to do what's right, regardless of the consequence. So, still related to Dunbar's number, maybe. Regardless of how many people around you are saying it. But if you know for sure that you're doing something right, you'll still do it the way it's supposed to be done. If you get pressured, if you buckle under pressure, then you will learn that you have to strengthen yourself. You have to strengthen your resolve. You have to do better for yourself. Doing things for yourself, thinking about yourself, may sound selfish. However, how do you expect to help anyone do anything for anyone if you can't do it for yourself anyhow? That's why you have to choose yourself first. You have to love yourself first. You have to help yourself first. You have to educate yourself first, empower yourself first before anyone else. You put importance to yourself so that there is gravity when you put importance on someone else. Because they know that they are important. they will really know they are. So there, it's been 41 minutes. Thank you very much for taking your time. I hope it made sense. Please search if you want to find out more about Dunbar's number. It's just a peripheral discussion of Dunbar's number. If you want to know more about it, please just type it up, Dunbar's number. And don't forget to always choose to live amidst all the chaos, amidst all the tragedies. My heart goes out to everyone that has lost someone in the past few months. Um, there has been a few people that passed away, and those who have passed away, you are not forgotten. You are within our hearts and in our prayers. I can only hope that those who have been left behind do not forget that there are others out there that care for them, that needs their strength, that needs their steadfast grasp, their tender loving care, and do not allow sadness to overpower you. Reach out to those around you within your circle. Please do not shy away from rejection. Yes, you will be rejected sometimes, and take it as a learning experience. If before you thought this person really cared for you, and when you reach out in time of need, they are not there for you, then they really did not care. It's a learning experience. Then you can whittle down the number of people that really care for you. There's always a positive in a negative, and the negative in a positive. So if there's anything that I would like people to understand because of why I do this, it's to see things both ways. Have to look at it critically. Have to understand the duality of everything. There's always good in bad and bad in good. And it's up to you to find the middle so that you can thread through life accordingly. Again, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. Hopefully, there was some lesson learned here today. I hope I did not waste your time. Thank you very much for each and every one of you. Stay safe, stay well, and remember, life is about making choices. Choose well. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Is everybody in?
Before we get started,
Everybody in?
does anyone want to get out?
Everybody.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows
Ceremony
things
is
are
about
bad.
to
It's a
begin.
depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. You don't go out anymore. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. There's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my... I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. At first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.